Hello, everybody. Welcome to Love and Money Live. We are so glad to be with you today. This is such an important topic. What do you mean? Money fights aren't about money. So thanks for joining us on Love and Money Live. It's going to be a great topic.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be kind of fun because we want to start a little differently today. Often we've always been told, you jump right into the topic. But we want to start off, and we are jumping right in, but we want to start with a story. And we don't usually start with a story, and it's something that we found online, and Bethany's going to read it, and it's going to tie perfectly in to the subject today.
Absolutely. So this was a story that was done at the Gottman Institute, and they study behavior. And this is just a fascinating story and so appropriate on our topic today. And it's fun because it includes 8-year-olds. So this is really fun.
What can an 8-year-old teach us? I think they can teach us a lot.
They can. I know. They keep life simple.
Absolutely.
Have you guys heard that thing where it says, like, everything I ever needed to know I learned in kindergarten? I don't know if you've ever seen that saying, you take a nap, you do this. So I thought this was kind of fun.
I wish the naps still actually happened.
I wish... Do you need a nap, honey?
I could use one right now.
Okay, all right. Well, here we go. So this is a story and that Dr. John Gottman, a real life experience of what he went through as he studied behavior, money, and relationships. So fascinating. And he said, but here's the other thing. Part of it, the story is fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay. But then we're going to talk about how we don't agree with something.
We don't agree with his conclusion.
His conclusion. That's exactly right. All right. For a marriage to be wealthy, a couple needs to have more money coming in than going out. It's just addition and subtraction. Debt needs to be eliminated. Money needs to be saved and invested for the things we want. Toes in the sand with a drink in our hand. If you and your partner follow this rule, you'll have no financial issues for the rest of your lives. But it doesn't feel that way, does it? It feels like we need a master's degree in finance and wealth management. But do we? Dr. John Gottman wanted to find out, so he went to a group of 8-year-olds and asked them for money advice. He told them he works with moms and dads who are fighting about money, so they can stop fighting and love each other more. All of the kids understood this. He told them a story of a couple. Now, the husband's story went like this. I don't want to save for tomorrow. I want to live for today. I want to spend money enjoying life. Uncle Jack saved up millions of dollars living in a one-room condo and he never went out. He never truly enjoyed life. I don't want that. Now, the wife's story, it went like this. My family grew up poor. We never had any money when an emergency came up or if somebody got sick. We never had enough to plan for the future. When my parents got older and couldn't work as hard, they had nothing. They couldn't retire. I don't want to be like my parents. One wants to spend now, the other wants to save for later. They're stuck in financial gridlock. Dr. Gottman looked at the kids and asked, what should this mom and dad do? A hand shot up. Save some and spend some. The other kids looked at each other and agreed. The 8-year-old who believed that the couple should work out a compromise with each other. The best option would be to work hard for a while, put some of the extra money in savings, and use the rest of it to enjoy life so they don't end up like Uncle Jack. That's all it takes. Kids, totally logical. So what's wrong with adults? Why do we struggle with money when an 8-year-old knows what's best? Fascinating. The couple, they obviously see things so differently. Now, here's where we do not agree with him. And we're going to really dive into this today and teach you some things to help you understand the dynamic of money in your relationship. This is what he said. He said, money, to a degree, defines us. It determines how we dress, how we eat, what social groups we join. Whether we like it or not, money influences what we can and cannot do with our lives. So where does all this start?
So we agree. I agree with that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But at the same time, anyway. But here's where it really comes to a challenge for us. Out of all the forces that determine our relationship with money, the most influential is our personal history, the melting pot of our childhood, teenage, and adult experiences that have sculpted and re-sculpted our likes and dislikes about money throughout our lives. Wrong.
Not true.
Wrong. Not true. Not true. What we have determined and identified is that your money personalities, how you are wired with money, is what determines
Absolutely.
your likes and dislikes.
And that's what the money personality assessment proves. I mean, the reality is based on what our primary and secondary money personalities, that's going to drive those decisions. So Uncle Jack, he was probably a saver, security spender, like to the nth degree.
Saver, security spender?
I'm sorry, saver, security seeker
There we go.
to the nth degree. That's what he was all about. But the uncle, the nephew who wanted to live for today and spend the money now, he was the exact opposite. He was probably a spender, risk taker. And so what you need to think about and remember is that those money personalities drive us. That's why we either act like our parents when it comes to money, so maybe the money personalities are the same, or we act totally opposite. You're totally opposite of your mom.
Totally
so
opposite.
So childhood and history has nothing to do with how you view money.
No.
It's all about those money
I
personalities.
mean, you're either going to be like your parents or
Yep.
you're going to rebel against them. And I know for myself, I rebelled against them. So I'm a spender, risk taker. So I like to spend money. I love to give gifts. I like to take risks. But my mom was a total opposite. And her way did not influence me to become a saver security seeker. She's a saver security seeker. I never wanted to be. I'm never going to be.
Right.
Never. But what I did is I rebelled against it, not kind of knowing what was happening. Like, for example, she would always buy generic brand products that didn't taste as good. And I would just bug me. I'm like, why not spend a little bit more money and enjoy it? There's an example.
Well, but I think also I don't even know necessarily I would say that you rebelled against it. You were just true to who you were with your money personalities. And that's one of the things that your mom viewed it as rebellion.
Yes, that's
but
true.
The child doesn't review it as rebellion. That's just who they are. And that's where we walk a pretty slippery slope with our kids, especially if they have different money personalities, because it can feel like, well, you shouldn't spend all your money, and they spend all their money. Oh, they're rebelling against me. No, they're not. They're probably spenders. And that's where knowing your kids' money personality is so important too.
So important. So that couple, they just see different. And if they could understand who they are and how they were made, then that would help them and give them kind of a foundation to be able to grow from. Super important. And if you are whoever you're married to, whoever you're in relationship with your kids, you've got to start with understanding their unique DNA and how they were made. We've got a kind of a fun story as to how we know that it starts in your DNA. You want to tell them?
Yeah, so Halloween candy. I know this sounds crazy, but we use Halloween candy.
We studied kids
to
and their
kids
candy.
and how they consumed Halloween candy. Because what is candy to a kid? It's currency. Especially in
Yay!
Halloween time. It's like they hit the lottery once a year. I would still like to go trick-or-treating because, I don't know, the Almond Joys. I always got all the Almond Joys because not a kid in the world likes Almond Joys. But Hershey's is smart, actually it's Mars, is smart enough to know that if you throw the Almond Joys in, that's going to go to the parents. They'll keep them out there trick-or-treating.
There you go.
Anyways, I digress. But here's the reality. We would study kids and how they consumed their candy. So, like, I know both our sons, we would watch how they did candy, and they would always divide it up into perfect little piles. They came up with like a consumption plan. So all the Reese's are in one pile. Reese's Pieces were in another. Hershey bars would be in another. That was their security secret. They wanted a plan. Now they also, my oldest son, who's a primary risk taker, he would trade it.
Oh, he would trade
be all
with his
over
little
cake.
brother.
He'd be like,
Oh, yeah.
dude, I'll give you like this dum-dum for that Hershey's. And I'd be like, back the boat up. That's manipulation. So it was mean. But that was his risk taker. Cade is also a primary spender, secondary security seeker. So he would consume his candy basically
so fast
within a week.
Yeah.
And so we were able to look and see, kids consuming their candy. If they saved it over the whole year. My nephew, we were out trick-or-treating, and Alex like, Uncle Scott, it was freezing that night. He's like, I don't even know why I'm out here. I still have candy from last year. He's a total saver.
Total.
Spender, those are the kids that are going to consume it. Risk takers are the kids that are going to trade it. Security seekers are the kids that have a plan. And your flyers are kids that just give it away. We have a friend of ours and their daughter would just show up with her candy at school and just give it away to make her other classmates happy.
Right.
Total flyer. So we know for a fact that your money personalities, we've scientifically proven it through observation, that it is in their DNA. And the interesting thing was, we talk about understanding that everyone's different and they view the money different. And that's why it's not all about your childhood. It's not all about those things. It's who you are. It's also why that 8-year-old nailed it. because the 8-year-old was, why don't they spend some and save some? That's called respect. That's called mutual compromise. And that's what you also have to do is Bethany and I do not agree about everything about money. She is wrong about money all the time.
What?
But we compromise. So
Thumbs up.
what
Hearts
we
coming
do
across.
compromise. And we respect each other's money personalities because her money personalities have great aspects that mine don't have, and hopefully mine have good
No, I
aspects
do.
that hers have.
Yes.
But the 8-year-old was spot on,
Yeah.
which is respect was what he was saying each other's, and then compromise.
That's right. Absolutely. So super, super fun to really understand that and accept it. As a matter of fact, we have money personality assessments for kids, age 5 to 7.
Right.
Age 8 to 12, and
13 to 19.
I'm sorry, 5 to 12,
Right.
13 to 17, and 18 to 25. So make sure you know your kids' money personalities because they're probably all different.
It's
If you
going to
have 3
totally
kids,
explain.
they're all different,
and
I
it's going to totally
promise.
explain why they handle money the way they do.
Exactly. And your spouse. Make sure you know that too. So super duper important. So as we knew this and as we now know that we're different, we know that everyone views money differently, that respect, really understanding and listening to what they need and they want, them listening to you and what you want, and then becoming and having a compromise based on who you are, based on your money personalities is key. And then last but not least, speak their language.
Right.
If you speak their language, like for example, Scott, secondary security seeker, my Cole, secondary security seeker, my Cade,
We have to
secondary
have a
security
plan in
seeker.
our family.
They
or
have
we-
to have a plan.
We melt down.
They do. And I don't have security seeker in me. So I'm always like, okay, guys, what's the plan for the day? What's the plan? What's the plan? And that speaks their money personality language. So it connects with them really, really fast. And it's fun too. So we have this incredible new product out, and it is called the Money and Marriage Talk Plan. It is awesome. It's a module-based learning program of how to learn how to talk the language. We give you power words to use to be able to understand their money personalities, but to be able to speak their language so then you can connect. It's awesome. It's a module-based. It takes you about 45 minutes to go through. It is awesome. So anyway, go to themoneycouple.com/MMT, Money Marriage Talk -opt-in. All right, so themoneycouple.com-MMT for marriage money talk dash, not just a little slash. Is that a slash?
That's a dash, you're right.
Dash opt-in, OPTIN, and you can pick that up for yourself. But it's just so interesting to find out. It's not always about the dollars and cents. It's not like this gentleman said in the study. It's not about getting out of debt. If every couple was out of debt and we had no money fights, then we would know that's the answer. It's not the answer.
And then 70% of all divorces when incite money is the #1 reason for the breakup.
That's exactly
It was
right.
that easy of just getting out of debt. We would all do it because we'd want to have the perfect marriage. We know that that's not the fact.
That's not the fact. So, all right. Well, thank you for joining us today. We were so glad you did. And if you have any questions or comments, please be sure to comment below. We would love to hear from you as always. And we're working hard to bring you more and more resources to be able to help bring your love and your money together. So thank you for joining us on Love and Money Live. You guys have a great day.
Have a blessed Easter.
Absolutely.
It's Easter weekend this
That's
Easter,
right,
so
it
have
is.
a blessed Easter.
Yes, happy Easter, everybody. He is risen indeed. All right, everybody have a great day and make it happen.